So what happens first?
I don't know.
How does this work?
Good evening, Melrosians the world over. I'm Tom Catalini.
I'm Sam Hammer.
I'm Tom Shampoo.
And this is Let's Talk Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose through any kind of microphone they can make work right before the show.
There you are.
Hello.
Perfect. Hey, I was observing.
In a cave.
Tom needs a can and a string or something. I don't know what's going on. I was observing just now as we're coming on the air that last week when you were not around, I had to do the introduction and I do the Welcome to Melrose, Let's Talk Melrose, a show where Melrosians, I do all that first and then I say my name after, but you do your name first.
Yeah, so I wasn't gonna critique you that you were point out that you were doing it wrong, but yeah, if you go back to the early days, the archives, season 1, we introduce ourselves and then tell the people about the show. Then set the stage.
It makes so much more sense. It makes so much more sense.
Yeah, like but you'll get there
right now.
You'll get there. I have faith in you.
Thank you, Sensei.
Well, coming on later, I'm happy to say, is our new friend Nancy Clover.
Yes,
I met on the internet. So I'm super excited. We tried not to ask her any questions. So I can't wait to get into it. But I also I want to say that I am here with a sizable man cold, and I am still here with you all.
And we thank you.
What do you mean man cold? Wait a minute. Hold on. What is that?
A man cold is like a fake cold, but you're not really sick, but you complain about being sick.
Well, I'm feeling it though.
I think
you have a real cold.
That seems like a pretty sexist statement, if you ask me. Are we stereotyping and gender profiling people now? What's happening?
That is what you do. Yes.
There you go.
Wow. Sam Hammer's in the business of shame.
No kidding. Wow. No, she's sick.
I can't bounce back from that. Yeah. I'm sick. I'm sick.
She's sick.
I think a lot of people would agree with you, actually.
Yeah, I know my fault.
I also quickly want to send congratulations to the Polymnia Choral Society. I went to their show this weekend. Jen was there. Alice and Mike Harris came up from Delaware to see the show, and the auditorium was full.
Oh, fantastic!
Full of people.
Yeah.
So I was really moved. It was a very difficult piece. There they had an orchestra in the front. Murray, who came on the show, is kind of a big deal. So he directed the whole thing. It was a very difficult piece, and I've never really sung in a choir, but you could just tell it was very hard. And then the best part and another amazing part of it was at the end, we had a live Zoom with Matthew Shepard's father.
Oh,
wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
What? That's impressive. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we had a Q&A session with him. It was fantastic. There were some great questions. Shout out to Jim Bennett, who asked about more personal things around, we know of Matthew through this story, but what can you tell us about him from your perspective? Tom, are you buzzing around?
I think he's buzzing.
Catalini.
Tom, I think you're buzzing, Tom Catalini.
Oh my God! Give me a second here.
So congrats to everybody who made it to the show. It was absolutely fantastic. The program is very thick and full of resources for folks who need support. Marginalized communities, including LGBTQ folks and families. So, and the room was full. Any better?
Sorry.
That's better.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
That's better.
Just do the Howard Cosell thing, Tom. That's all. Just do that on the whole show.
So awesome.
I'm glad you went, Sam, and thank you for being there.
Yeah.
Nice. I had a quick note because I had a historical commission meeting last night. We're doing some interesting stuff this year. It's also the 50th anniversary of the Historical Commission. It was founded, I think the first meeting was October of 1973, which puts it at 50 years this October. But during this conversation around a celebration and kind of 50 years of work, Shane Egan, who's our resident old time Melrose photograph guy, just brings photos in to look over and kind of go through. And it's just really amazing to see the transformation, but also the pieces that don't change over time, like the ways that Main Street has changed, but also hasn't, you know what I mean? So it's kind of cool. So I was just kind of thinking back on some of these images that we looked at, and some of the buildings, like there used to be an old time theater on Main Street, the Eastern Bank building, which used to be a theater, which is kind of amazing back in the day. So anyway, I was just kind of excited about looking at some of these old photographs, and we're looking to make a lot of these more available during the coming year as part of that celebration. But again, Old Time Melrose is a great place to go on Facebook and take a look at some of the old photographs. And speaking of which, Facebook and photographs, we're going to be talking to Nancy Clover in a little bit. So we're looking forward to that conversation as well.
Great.
That's all.
Awesome.
Tom, are you frozen? You there? Okay.
I'm here. Oh my God, this is an endless array of tech problems on this end. Shane Egan does such a great job with the old time photos, and he's constantly posting stuff. And he's of course in touch with historian Scott McCauley and getting a lot of things out of his physical collection. And also Scott has just such a wealth of knowledge. So they really, and then the community, it's fun to see the comments. People, sort of recreate things like, where was this picture taken? Sometimes it's a little game. Do you know where this was? And then other people are like, oh, I know the guy who grew up in that house, and so on and so forth. And they tell all the stories and put all the puzzle pieces together. Fascinating.
Yeah, cool. Anyway.
We all have a love for Melrose. It's great.
Yes, we do.
Oh, speaking of.
All right, time for the news, isn't it? Oh,
it is.
Shane, hey.
Look at that, Shane Egan. Didn't even know he was there.
Nice.
He gets a proper shout out. Nice job, Shane.
Nice.
All right, news, right? We first of all, we didn't acknowledge that Jenna Claire is not with us this evening. She's busy, tied up with some stuff, and we miss her. That's all.
Yes. Very much so. She would have appreciated my joke earlier.
She would have.
It's another reason we're more disorganized than usual. Anytime
it always shows its ugly head that way, right? When we're
well, earlier this afternoon, a friend of mine sent a screenshot of a post from a local veterans organization that former city councilor Scott Forbes has passed away, which is quite a shock. He had a huge impact on this community and to veterans throughout the area, as his father did as well. So it's a shock. And so our thoughts and love to his family. He's got a young family. So the information about the wake, et cetera, will be shared on Facebook. So stay tuned. But did you know him? I didn't know him well. I was always somebody I wanted to get to know better.
Yeah, I didn't know him, but that was a name in town. City councilor, and prior to that, alderman, and his dad was an alderman, I think, for multiple terms. And so they've always been a big part of the community and contributing. And then I think he stepped away from that to focus more time on the Veterans Association.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't know him, never met him, but clearly one of those folks you knew about the impact.
Yeah, sure. Well, if anybody would know him, I would have guessed Sam would be you, but
right. I'd run it. We'd met a few times. He wasn't on the council long since I've been here, but he was always very kind and always doing community service and work, and just somebody I always had a great interaction with. Just an upstanding guy. So. Yeah, that's very sad.
Yeah.
In other news, on Monday, some more of our city's finances came to light. It was in writing. I was able to read the packet to see that we this year, FY23, have around $7.1 million in free cash, which is not free. It's just unencumbered until we decide what we want to do with it. It's a surplus, essentially.
I was going to say we should explain for folks what that means, but yeah, that's the answer. It's a surplus.
I could say. The mayor did put down 4 requests for appropriations, around $35,000 to purchase essential voting equipment, $900,000 or so for police and fire radio system upgrades, $35,000 for 2 additional student seats at the Voc School. That raises the number to 9. I put some data in there around the cost of 9 students at the Voc. And then the big ticket item so far is the 2.7 for Melrose Public Schools. So 2.5 to go to this current year's budget to cover special ed and transportation, which we've all heard has gone up significantly.
Yeah.
Here it is. And then Medicaid reimbursement, $262,000. So I know in past shows, we've talked about this free cash situation. And when it was around 5 million, we had a lot of words around, are we being too conservative? Should we be investing more in our operating budget? So now we have $7 million in free cash. Again, it's just unencumbered. It's there as surplus money. There was some talk around some of the pieces and how we got here, including extra revenue from our friends on Route 99 at Garden Remedies.
Garden Remedies, sure.
But
what kind of money was that Garden Remedies bringing in, by the way? I forget.
So there's 2 kinds of revenue, my understanding. One is we get a piece of the tax revenue that they bring in from sales. 2, every year they give us a lump sum of money to be in business in Melrose. So we have these 2 different revenue streams that are coming in from places like Garden Remedies.
Yep.
Do you know what it added up to this year? I'm just curious. I forget what was promised when that first started, but
I don't have the memo up right now, so please put up the thing that says these are not accurate facts. But it increased from last year. It was over 400,000, and increased this year. Thank you to over 900,000. So, but it's
wow.
Yeah. Well, so 7 million in free cash. So the city council is going to discuss next week around the school budget and the school request for the.
So do we have an answer to the question? Like, have we spent every year, if we have this free cash situation, this surplus of money, do we spend all of it every year, or do we carry some over through the next budget? Like, how does that work? Is all 7.1 million from the past year, or is it a carryover from previous years?
I mean, it's year over year, just like any corporate budget. But we do here put a lot, or a good sized portion of that, to stabilization funds for contracts, staffing contracts, or other stabilization. So just in case something happens, we need to access additional capital. It's there in our stabilization fund. So with whatever's left, what did I put? Almost $3.5 million left after those 4 things.
3.4, yeah.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see where that ends up going. You do need to at least encumber it and appropriate it somewhere so that you can start July 1st fresh and new. So.
I think there's an allocation for quasi news local TV programming. I think.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure of that one. But.
Or a statue, at least.
A statue of
a 4-person. We don't have a 4-person statue.
Wait, Tom, I have to stop you because your microphone's really crankly now when you speak.
Oh God!
So technology is not your friend tonight, Mr. Catalini.
But the one thing that Tom Shampoo and I argues about is if we're able to have $7 million in free cash, can't we just take this first 4 million or so and just put it always in our operating budget and just grow our operating?
Right. That's what I said. I say,
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Oh yeah, we can hear that loud and clear.
No, that's. I think that's. I don't really know, but my sense is that that's irresponsible because you have to have some flexibility. So I don't think there's anything that's necessarily unallocated or whatever in the beginning of the year. So you're projecting what you think your revenue is going to be. You're projecting what you think your expenditure is going to be, but you don't really know. So you might take in more taxes or other revenue than you expected, and you might or you might spend less than you thought in a certain area.
The
So it's
snowplow
really a
would be
balance.
example. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really like a
Right.
balancing of the books, right? So we set aside 100,000 for snow plowing. We didn't use it. Okay, let's allocate that to a radio system for the police or put it in a rainy day fund. So if you plan to use all of that in the beginning, your plan never really can't be accurate. And I would argue it would be not a good way to be too close to the edge. Now, if
That's
anything
what
goes,
I was. Yeah.
yeah.
So.
I hate it when you're both wrong. That's just makes me really sad. Somebody asked, our new friend SC
Yep.
asked, it seems high. Is it similar to other communities? So it's hard to say. So according to the Division of Local Services out of DOR, they do want municipalities to have a certain percentage
like
that they're allowed
5%.
to, for free cash. Anything more or less, much less, tends to give them red flags on problematic budgeting.
Yeah, sure.
So,
So this is close because we're a $95 million budget, right?
Right,
90-something
right,
million?
yeah. So it might be a little high. I think SC is correct, but I think you want to have. I thought it was like 5%. We read somewhere.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
so
All right, well, so good.
So that's
Hey, you
that.
know what? It's way better than having them being short and
True.
having issues every year, financial issues every year. So
True, very
Right.
true. So, yeah. Any other words? I said I told Tom Shampoo last week. I hate when we argue because it makes me sad when he's wrong all the time.
I got Stephanie a great magnet. It says I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
That's
Sam
great.
needs to get one of those.
Yeah.
I just walk around with
And
it.
just walk around a t-shirt.
Right.
Yeah, that's all. All right. Well, anyway,
Right.
we should move on
Okay,
to
yes,
our
yes, yes, yes.
upcoming weekend or week
Oh my
ahead.
gosh, so much!
There's a
Are you
lot
guys
going on.
Are you guys around?
All right, let's move it along. Nancy Clover's coming on the
I
show.
know,
Let's
I know.
get the
I am
energy
not
back
around.
up.
Yes.
Punch list. Let's go.
Okay,
Let's go. Here we
so
go.
you're not around, Tom?
No.
I think Linda's around, isn't she? Anyway,
Well,
we don't discuss that. But on Saturday's a big day in Melrose. In the morning at 8:30. I don't know who booked that time.
AM?
Yes.
8:30
Yep.
a.m. Yeah.
8:30 a.m. The Melrose Creative Alliance is having its second annual Creative Arts and Culture Summit.
Summit.
Here's the link. The last summit was full of almost 90 Melrosians who
Yeah.
identified within the arts and culture community to come up with a plan how we can together be an alliance to advocate for things we want and get stuff done together. So
Yeah.
it'll be great to see this year as some of the things are implemented and in place, and to see where the community wants to go from here. So that's
And they're
Saturday.
moving out of Temple Beth Shalom because they're bursting at the seams, too many people, and so it's going to be at Memorial Hall this year.
It's not at Memorial Hall, but
Sorry.
close. It's at the first congregation.
Close. Closer.
Oh, I had that
It's the
wrong.
Highlands Congregational, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No,
Yeah.
not at the Highlands either.
What? Oh my God! I read this. Where? That's why we need Jen. I hope she
I thought it was
doesn't
going
watch
to
this
see,
episode.
the whole thing crashes, man.
It's at the
Crash
first.
and burn.
It's at the First Congregational Church.
First congregation.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Right.
First
Should know that.
Congregational Church.
Sorry, Jen.
Okay. Then after you recover from an entire morning of inspiration, Saturday night at 7, head over to the Rotary event. They're doing Left, Right, and Center again. Which
Fun
as you
game.
both-
We played that.
We
We
did.
did. As you both know, this game of luck had some skill thrown in there. So
That's
right.
right.
yes, I'm happy to take all the money again at the Rotary this time.
Yes.
So there's that.
And then
Saturday
Saturday night also. This,
Yep.
I'm saying
following Saturday.
additionally, we have Saturday
Different.
night.
Yes, you're correct. There is also something on a completely separate and unrelated Saturday. You're correct.
No, I was
Good
moving on
reporting.
to the next item. I was simply moving on to the next item. That's all I was doing. Also, Saturday night we have the trivia
What a
day, which
different
is the-
Saturday night.
You know what? I'm not
We're
even gonna
losing
read it.
people. We're losing
I'm not
people.
even
Okay.
gonna
Yes.
All right,
Saturday
come on, we
trivia
got to
day.
get to Nancy. Let's
Yes,
go.
7 p.m. at Memorial Hall.
Are we having a team
Always
or
a fun.
what? Are we having a team? I gotta know.
No.
I heard that you had a team. I'm not around, so sorry.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
around
there's-
either.
Oh my God.
It's March
Okay.
25th.
Well, I'll ask some top fans if they want to have a team.
All right.
There you go.
Let's see.
But how do I know about all these amazing things? I go to the Melrose Creative Alliance
There
website
you go.
and click on the events page. And I also subscribe to the newsletter. That's how I know.
Keep scrolling.
And you know how else I know about things that are going on around town?
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, my new friend Nancy Clover. Come on
Yes.
out. We don't have walk-up music for you because
Tom's thing. There we are.
Tom.
Nancy
Yeah.
Clover is joining us. Hey, Nancy.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
It's so great to have you. So I just have to tell a quick story about how Nancy came to be a guest on the show tonight. So early this morning, a top fan comes down the stairs and says, "You know who you should have on the show? This woman, Nancy Clover. He's reading all of your things." He says, "What is she doing?" She's like writing all of these things about all of the businesses around town. And it's captivating. You're an amazing writer and storyteller about things that are going on. So I figured I'd ring you up.
There you go.
We're now friends. So what's your story? Like, why are you doing all this?
Well, first I have to say, Tom Chapeau, you obviously are not following me on Facebook because I did something on the Melrose Theater today.
I did not see that.
Old photos and
Oh, no, I did see that.
yes, so
Yeah.
and Sean helped me with those pictures, so that was really nice.
Yeah, that was one of Shane's pictures from.
Shane.
Yeah. I did see that picture of the theater, which is now Eastern Bank.
Yep.
And so, thank you for that.
Yep. So I've been in Melrose 5 months, and I came from Methuen. I lived there for 30 years, and I had a huge network of stores, restaurants. People knew me, I knew them. And I suddenly came to Melrose, and we unpacked our boxes, and I went, "Oh shit, I don't know anybody," and I was trying to figure out a way to connect, right? And I think it's hard to be a new person in a business, in a community. So I live right by Cedar Crossing Park, so I decided to devote some time and attention to all of the amazing stores that were there. So I started to talk to them. Paper and Clay was a brand new store that was opening, and I actually ran into them before the soft opening and got a chance to talk to them, and I wrote about them and got a great review. And then Valentine's Day was coming up, so I wanted to do 14 days of showing some love to that neighborhood, the Cedar Park stores. And there are exactly 14 stores there, and I featured one every single day. And it was amazing. I feel like I have now 14 new friends.
Mhm.
And then it's just sort of branched out. I'm trying really hard to only review places that I'm actually have used. So Hugo's, we bought our appliances from Hugo's. So there's a review from Hugo's. Melrose Nails, I got my nails done there. I have a bunch still to go because I'm really trying to shop around and learn about Melrose. So it's just been an amazing event. It's so
Yeah, I think you're going to have to get a lot of haircuts and eat a lot of pizza before this is
Yes.
over, Nancy.
Yeah. So Sonny has done my hair, and like them. And yeah, we've kind of avoided the pizza piece so far. Other than Wooden Fire, I will be reviewing them soon because they're
Oh, great. So what brought you to Melrose from Methuen? Tom, I'm sorry, you're gonna get
Someone's buzzed.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't think that's me, but okay.
Nope.
So we actually we're in a condo. We bought the condo 9 years ago when it was first being built, looking at the fact that we would want to age in place. So this is a one level. We came from 4-bedroom, huge yard, big driveway, big swimming pool, just a lot of maintenance. So my son and his girlfriend originally lived here. Then they moved to Austin, Texas, and then his best friend and his girlfriend moved in, and then they bought a house in Worcester. So when they were leaving to Worcester, we said, okay, it's time to bite the bullet and get rid of 30 years of stuff.
Wow.
And here we are, and so happy. Melrose is incredibly unique. It's unbelievable. And the amount of 2 and 3 generation businesses, 50 years, 75 years, that's unheard of. It's just crazy that there's these small shops are thriving, and I'm really proud to feature them. I think it's been really good for them. I think it's been a morale booster because, to be honest with you, for the first time, they see all the nice comments about them, right? And now you're getting 50, 60 people saying how much we love you. I'll use the community, Melrose Community Garage, which is next to me. When I went to talk with them, they were like, we don't want to have anything to do with social media. And I'm like, I'm not selling anything. I just want to talk to you. And then they get over like 400 likes and tons of comments of people saying how my dad went there, I go there, my kids are going there. It's just, and every time I go by there, they're like waving and they're all happy. So it's been a morale booster, I think, also for the businesses as well as for me personally. So it's been great.
Nice. And I'm sure that there's a stronger connection, not just to the community, but to the people, the individuals too, because you're doing all this work and you're on the streets walking around and kind of driving around and getting to know people. That's really amazing.
So it's really funny. I was walking down the street the other day and I was on one of these smaller streets and somebody was coming. She was on her phone and she was walking down and so I stepped off the sidewalk because it was a narrow sidewalk. And I stepped on the street and she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take up the whole street. And I was like, oh, no problem. And I walked about 10 more steps and she turned around and went, are you Nancy? Oh, yeah. And it's from Follow Your Art. And
Yeah.
so we made arrangements to go and see her and I'll
Nice.
do a review. I have a lot of people that I am waiting to do reviews on. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, Tom Catalini has that a lot as well, just around town. Oh, are you Tom Catalini? Uh-oh. It's totally gone, Tom. Your microphone is not working. I don't know what's up. Sorry.
it's one of the problems I have though is the businesses all want to kind of give me something, right? Because I've done this thing for them, and so it's been really important for me to like, no, you can't change my car battery for free. You can't give me a free, the drink. You can't. So that I really try to, let them know that it's not. I'm doing it for me because I get great pride in it, but I'm also doing it hopefully to promote them.
Yeah. So you're an excellent writer. Is this something you've done a lot of, or were you a roving reporter at some point?
So I'm actually a nurse.
Oh, so a talker and a listener, one more listener. Yeah.
My daughter went to BU for 5 years. She got her master's from BU. And so I used to help her edit her papers, and that has improved my writing skills greatly. So she'll say she helped me improve my skills, but I think I helped her, doing that. So, no, and I do spend time doing it. I think about it. I talk to the people. I also try to do a little research, and I sort of try to just think of like why I'm fascinated by Melrose, like the theater thing, because Oscars are coming up. I was really fascinated with that theater, and I went into the bank and I'm like, please tell me there's some part of the theater left in here. And he's like, dragged me outside and said, see those metal things up there? That's where the marquee was. That's it. Go on.
That's it. Wow.
Oh, bummer.
I was talking to Stephanie Nelson, of Melrose Chamber of Commerce recently, and we were talking about that theater. I believe she told me, like in the 70s or 60s, upstairs there was like a space still, like a rehearsal space, and apparently Aerosmith practiced there way back in the late 60s.
Wow.
Stephanie Nelson has to confirm that, but that's the story that we heard about that.
Very interesting.
What kind of nurse were you, and where were you?
So I still actually have a full-time nursing job.
Wow.
I own a company. It's called Occupational Health Connections, and I place nurses into companies. So in like Raytheon, Gillette, Boston Scientific, all of them have nurses on site that take care of people that get ill or injured at work, and those nurses work for me. So I have about 100, a staff of about 100.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. Huh. So in May we will be 23 years old. So it's
wow. Oh my gosh.
Gee.
So I'm hoping to be like the Melrose companies, 50, 75 years. So
I think we have Tom Catalini back as a rover.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay, great. All right. Now, you guys mind going back the last 10 minutes and repeating everything so I can weigh in? Okay, I'm glad to hear, it solves a piece of the puzzle, Nancy, to hear that you're employed. I figured you were laying the groundwork for a mayoral bid, something along those lines, maybe.
Yep. No political aspirations. I do find some of the things that I post that I think are, well, nobody's going to really care, and that get incredible amount of response, like the map of the neighborhoods in Melrose.
Yeah.
Still trying to learn my way around. Like Sam said, Lincoln School, and I'm like, oh, I think I know where that is now. So, and then people started talking about the neighborhoods and growing up, and then connecting with other people from the old neighborhood, and
So here's the thing. Sam, was texting us today. So I got a great guest, Nancy Clover. Okay, that sounds good. And then she was talking about your posts, and I went and searched the community page, and I had read basically all of your posts, but I never connected the dots that it was all one person contributing all of this. So it's just it's great to meet you live on the show here, and I'm hoping that we get a review maybe at some point.
Yeah, well, I've already talked, so you're a little late to the party, Tom. Yeah, we've already talked about doing that piece. So absolutely. Yeah, the other thing that I posted that I thought would be kind of silly was the change of seasons on the storefronts, how they've changed, like from Valentine's Day to St. Patrick's Day, and again, a lot of comments, a lot of likes. It's kind of funny to see that. So,
somebody must be you on telling you to. So that's so interesting that you say that, because you will find on the community page that people are not shy about expressing all opinions that they have. Yeah. Have you discovered our uncensored community group as well?
I have. It's a little rough for me, and to be honestly, a couple of weeks back, I did put a post up about, there was a bag of dog poo on the curb, and I wrote, I don't think that's what they meant by curb your dog. And then the post started getting like really out of control. I was like, oh, I just deleted it. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm about. I don't want to do that. It was kind of supposed to be funny.
It's supposed to be a joke, right?
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be super serious, but boy, that started a lot of fire.
Yeah.
So what? Tell us something that you've learned that surprised you doing all this work that you're doing, from the people, the community, the history, or the information.
So, like as I mentioned, the longevity of businesses is really unique to Melrose. But my daughter will say there's got to be something in the water, because she's never seen so many nice people in one place. Yeah. So, and I do agree that Melrose has the nicest community. Everything we've experienced, and we really have trying to integrate ourselves into the Melrose community, has been amazing. So I'm pretty proud to say that I'm from Melrose, to be honest with you.
That's great. It is true. And maybe another time we can discuss our some other things that we've done around town that you might be interested in participating in. So, but I know you work full time, and the writing does take a while. I mean, you're pretty thorough. What other interests do you have, or what other things would you get into in Melrose if you had extra time?
If I had extra time, well, I have no artistic talent, but being in Follow Your Art in that building, I felt very creative. I was like, oh, maybe I could do some of this. And I was like, no, be serious, Nancy. You can't even.
They have classes. They have classes just for that reason.
Yeah. I would have to go in with those like 4 to 7-year-old class to kind of get it. So, I think anything that's happened at the Memorial Hall, I've been delighted to go. We've been to.
Oh.
I even went to a boxing match.
I was going to ask if you went to boxing.
I was going to ask if you went to the boxing match.
I went to the boxing match, and I can tell you, there were some younger kids up behind us, and they were yelling and so enthusiastic. The crowd was fabulous. Yeah.
But you'll have to join the neighborhood when they go, if wrestling comes back. Yeah.
Was that a year ago or more, Tom? When was the wrestling?
A little bit more than a year ago.
Well, will you be on Saturday night? Are you going to come to the Left Right Center at the Rotary?
I would love to, and I would love to take your money, Sam.
I'm going to bring my last winnings, so I have $27 to play with.
Oh, yeah, you might want to break into your piggy bank, my friend. But I'm not. I'm going to go see my son in Austin, so I won't be here.
All right. Well, we'll make a date another time.
Nancy, I'm going to be taking a vacation with my wife in Austin soon, so we'll be looking for some tips. Are you going to be doing any writing and reviews of places in Austin when you're down there?
No, but I will tell you, Black's barbecue is to die.
Okay.
It is worth waiting an hour and a half in line for it. Which is something I would not normally do, but yes, so I suggest Black's. So yeah,
Nice.
so I'm excited. I'm excited to be part of the community. My husband's really happy. He's definitely going to check out Melrose TV because he's had some good luck with public access. And
Oh, really? What's he done? Did he have a show in Methuen?
he was a founding member of the Methuen Cable TV. So
Oh my goodness, he's going to love the gang here at MMTV. It's a phenomenal group. They talk about longevity. The team there has been in place for a long, long time. Pat Doyle and others who run that shop, and it's a great outfit. That's where we got our start.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I think is brewing live on the air here is maybe a Nancy segment each week, produced by her husband. You can give us a produced piece we can play. You can come on live on the air and just give us the rundown week to week. We need some new energy, Nancy.
Breaking. Yep.
you know what?
I see it coming together.
I certainly, the reviews that I do, I have given me so much pleasure. And I think, people have just really been responsive to them, and that's been incredible to me. So I've done.
Oh, we're trying to hitch our wagon to that star, Nancy. Let's go. We need some boost.
Well, we're definitely going to do a review on Let's Talk Melrose. I promise that'll be on my list.
Yeah, no kidding.
We better continue to suck up then, I think.
Most of the microphones are pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, plagued with technical issues, lack of information, no preparedness. Yet they cuss on, undaunted.
Undaunted.
Welcome to public access, Paul says. He's right. And tomorrow's review will be, because March 8th is International Women's Day, and I have 50 photos of women of Melrose. And so I hopefully, and Sam's in that list. And,
wow.
I'm
Nice.
so honored.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really interesting to go around and just say to people, hey, you don't know who I am, but I want to take your picture and put it on Melrose. So, and everyone has said yes, which is equally as strange to me. So.
Was it? We've talked about the fluffernutter. Wasn't the fluffernutter invented here, or fluff? And that was a woman, I believe, wasn't it?
In Somerville, I don't actually know that answer.
Yes.
So there's a back and forth between Somerville or Melrose. I have heard both.
No, Somerville for sure.
All right, there we
They
go.
have a fluff
no.
weekend.
Fluff festival.
Nancy, you're new, but the Melrose Marshmallow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna we're gonna connect you to Scott McCauley, and you'll get the lowdown on,
He's on my list,
everything
by
in
the way.
town. Yeah. Oh my God,
He owns
he's the
vacuum
greatest.
truck, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to go there, right?
I have to go. I have to experience it. You do
Melrose
have it.
Marshmallows.
Yeah, Melrose Marshmallows, made by Emma Curtis.
Emma Curtis. There she is.
Isn't that cute?
Maybe the marshmallows, but not fluff.
If you go to Scott McCauley's, make sure that your afternoon's free, so you can spend a few hours. Because
I need to see the houses behind him. I have a lot on my plate for him.
Good.
Oh, well, you keep saying how lovely, you love it here. People are so nice. And I think we are luckier to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
You've really made an impact in your 5 months since you've been here. So
Yeah.
That is very sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm feeling part of a community, which is what I was looking for.
Great.
I think, I had kids in sports, so we went to sports things and sat on the bench and talked to other parents. So, you made connections through PTO and school and those kind of things. But so to come here older and not have any of that, this was a perfect way for me to embed myself in this. So,
and Paul's now a fan, so we've got two.
I think we agree.
well, it's
Thank you,
good.
Paul.
Good for you for making it happen and setting a great example, because it is what you make of it, to a certain extent, and you're out there purposely trying to meet people and put positive energy into the community, and you're doing it in your way. I think with social media and the businesses, I think others of us could try and do it in other ways. I think this could be a good example for people to just kind of reach out and try things, whatever their avenue is. It doesn't have to be social media or businesses or any of these other things. I just think it's a pretty inspiring example, like, you know, to go out and really intentionally try to become part of the community. And I'm just so proud of the town is reciprocating for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. Absolutely. See,
Nice, well said.
I have a sticker that says Melrose is my happy place.
Oh my God, where'd you
Oh,
get
look
that
at that.
from?
So Molly's bookstore.
Yep.
Yep, right on Main Street, brand new. She's amazing. I've reviewed her a couple
Oh,
times.
I was
haven't
just
been
in there
yet.
this weekend. It's an amazing space to go
Yeah,
check
we went
out.
in too. I didn't see you. We went in this weekend to buy some baby books for a new baby as a gift.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
congratulations.
Thank you very much. We're excited.
I I ran into Mike Karaji there.
Oh, wow.
Who was passing through, and he had the kids and stuff. So it was a quick visit. But a lot of people in town were there. It's great. A beautifully decorated space, nice bookstore, something for everybody. Upstairs, downstairs, really great.
Yeah.
She's
So-
got an interesting story. You should bring her on as a guest. She has a very
We-
interesting backstory.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. We did have some communications with her on Facebook, and then there was a little bit of some delays in opening, so we haven't reconnected. But you're way ahead of us, Nancy, on all fronts.
Oh.
So
Maybe you should join our team and then help us
Yes.
with booking.
what do you mean, booking, reporting, information gathering?
Show doc. Nancy, clearly you spent 15 minutes with us and realized they need a lot of help, man.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can do to pull this together.
Absolutely not. No, but I
There you go.
Paul's laughing in the background. No, but I have heard the most incredible backstories of people, just phenomenal, and it's really been nice to be part of it.
That's
So,
great.
I'm glad to
Yeah.
be here.
Well,
Absolutely.
thank you for
Welcome.
joining us today.
Why
Thank you
you
so much.
invited me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you for everything.
And we'll see you next week on the
Yeah.
Nancy's News Corner.
Not next week. I'll still be in Texas, but maybe the week I'll tell you who I reviewed.
2
for the
weeks.
week.
You can come in from Texas. You can call in from Texas.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Nancy, that's fantastic.
It was such a pleasure meeting you. Thank
Oh,
you
thank you
so
so much.
much.
Thank you.
you.
Really.
And now we have you stay on camera while we dance this off while we have the closing music.
Oh, yeah.
And then-
Get
and then we'll
Paul
say
in, too. He
goodbye.
can dance with us.
He can dance if he wants to.
All right. Well, they want you to dance off.
Thank you. And Tom,
Thank you.
yes,
See you
Tom?
around
You have
town.
to do the
We'll
music.
see. Okay, we'll see you around town.
Sounds